Now here's something to ponder. What if I don't want to talk about Game of Thrones? Me, I can escape it here. I don't have HBO, so, All right, it's Marky Billson, your voice of choice for a new generation of Tri-City sports fans. The name of the program is Tri-City Sports Now, and we own the Tri-Cities with the best guests and hardest-hitting opinions in the market. On today's program, let's see here, where do we begin? I would start with saying at 12:30 on Monday, we usually talk to an ETSU coach, don't we? And in this case, it'll be Joe Panucci of the baseball team. They've taken 2 in a row from Furman after losing 3 in a row to the likes of VMI, Virginia Tech, and then in 12 innings, Furman. But we'll be looking at that. 1 o'clock, you heard on the sports update that, yes, Martin Truex Jr. won in Richmond. Now it's a week off before Talladega. You got to go have the week off. Never mind Easter. No, you just have to have the week off before you go from the big track, or from the short track to the big track. Before you go Bristol, Richmond, even before Bristol, what was there? Was there Martinsville? So you have to go and, actually it's Martinsville, Fort Worth, Bristol, Richmond, Talladega. You go from short to speedway. Which, how else are you going to do it? Yeah, I mean, do you really want to go from, here we're going to have all the speedways, and then we're going to have all the short tracks? I don't think so, but regardless. Anyway, that's what's going on. We're going to talk to Jerry Bonkowski about the latest in racing. And then at 1:30, it's SoCon John Hooper, my main man. We're going to be talking a little bit about spring practice. Went to the ETSU spring practice, of course. That's what I thought my opening commentary was going to be about, Marky's monologue. And then Tiger Woods had to go on and, break everything up. Anyway, we thought it would be the somewhat, fascinating world of spring football, right? I mean, what is spring football? I actually asked Randy Sanders that. And he didn't, he was very, that's a good question, because Cam Lewis probably isn't going to be the starting quarterback at ETSU. I guess there's a slight chance, but he was the quarterback the entire game. Jared Guarantano is probably not going to throw 35 passes odd a game at Tennessee. And if he does, then you can expect another long year for the Vols. However, we will be talking to SoCon John Hooper. Wofford is a new basketball coach. It is not B.J. Mackey. In fact, B.J. Mackey didn't even get an interview. It is their former assistant McCauley, Jeff McCauley. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about spring practice, who the quarterbacks are going to be, at the various places and this sort of thing. And in the Southern Conference next year as we make that transition. Now, basketball is over, and I'm sure we could talk about college baseball. We could talk about baseball in general. I like talking about baseball. There's only one problem. It's become unfashionable to talk about baseball, which is horrible, but that's the way it is. What is fashionable is if you're not talking about the Game of Thrones, you're talking about Tiger Woods if you do what I do for a living and you're a sports talk show host. Tiger Woods came out of, there was a writer, we mentioned this last week, he had bold predictions for Masters. And guess what the bold predictions were? Tiger Woods wouldn't make the cut. That didn't work out so well. I won't embarrass the writer. If you really want to know who he is, follow me on Twitter, where I have people who want to stalk me, and all the, so, but anyway, I think that's what Twitter is all about, isn't it? All right. But the thing is here, I had noticed something. I thought that prior to Tiger Woods' Masters victory yesterday, golf was the new boxing. Think about it. Nobody ever talks boxing anymore. I can recall boxing, even, I remember it being the talk of school. Now, this does date me. It's a generation ago. But, yeah, if there was a big title fight, that was the talk of school. And I had some, friends, one of which who actually became a professional fighter. But we would get together, if we were together, and we do the pay-per-view. I happen to think that's what killed boxing. One of the things, actually, one of the many things, was pay-per-view. Because when it got to be, well, you can watch this, but you're going to have to pay for it on your cable, and it's going to be $50, then a lot of people said, you know what, I can read about it in the paper. Or I don't even have to know about it anymore. It wasn't the Friday night fights anymore. If I want my boxing fix, I'll watch a Rocky movie, or Raging Bull. I mean, that's what it became. And I think another thing that happened is that there was one dominant figure in the sport. In golf's case, Tiger Woods. In boxing's case, Mike Tyson. There really hasn't been anybody since Mike Tyson that has captured the nation's interest in boxing, or the world's interest, if it will. So when they fell, Woods and Tyson, so did their sports. What happens now to golf, that Woods is once again back at the top. Does it go straight back up? Now, everyone's trying to say, what is this in comparison of? To me, and I know that he went through surgeries and all this, but to me, the comparison is easy. 1986, Jack Nicholson, or listen to me, Jack Nicholson. No. McNulty did not win the Masters. No, Jack Nicklaus did in 98. Now, I can't say anything right. Nicklaus won the Masters in 1986. He was 46 years old at the time, and few thought he was capable of returning to his past glories, much like Tiger Woods. Nicklaus won the Masters after an 11-year hiatus. Woods, after 14 years. It's the longest hiatus to win the Masters. Clearly, both were sensations after their victories at 40-something. The difference, though, I think, might be that there's now a feeling that Woods is back, even at age 43. There's a feeling that he can go after he's got 15 major tournaments. He can go after Nicklaus's record of 20. I don't know how practical that is, but there's a feeling Woods can make up for the past decade and continue to win big time now that he's recaptured the Masters. Now with Nicklaus, I think at 46, it was what a great individual moment. Its legacy, or what it did then, there were some very good golfers that dominated the PGA after that. Greg Norman, he certainly had personality. Curtis Strange, Tom Kite, Nick Price. Those were the big golfers before Tiger Woods came along. I mean, not so much Nick Price. That way, I mean, he was, but won PGA twice. But I don't know how, big of a name really Nick Price was. Certainly in golf circles, yes, but outside, he was nothing short of a great player, but he was not a transcending superstar like Woods or Nicklaus. Take Tom Kite. Okay, now, this is somebody who I can remember. And again, I'm going through ancient history, but I remember he was included in a Saturday Night Live skit. I remember Carcinio, Dana Carvey. But you try to explain Carcinio it's one thing you can explain, a World Series of Days Gone By or something, to a younger generation. It's in the record book. Trying to explain Carcinio, you really had to be alive in 1991, I think, to sort of get that, But if you remember the skit, Tom Kite was a part of it. An actor who played Tom Kite, but he was a part of it. So that's the thing. Did Tom Kite transcend golf? No. People didn't build golf courses. There wasn't everything. Nike and Woods, it wasn't like that. Woods is everything a superstar ought to be. Equal parts record-setting and controversial. That's if you like your stars with some spice. The idea is, Mike Trout, he's everything a superstar should be. He's just not all that interesting. Best player in baseball? Probably. What team does he play for again? The Angels. Where are they located again? Anaheim. What do they call themselves? Los Angeles. That makes sense. So Woods is everything, in that sense, a superstar should be, especially with marketable. But here's the question I ask. Does Tiger Woods boost golf, or does he boost himself? During his hiatus, golf's popularity took a hit. Golf courses closed. Look at Buffalo Valley. Named players have come, Rory McIlroy, Jordan Spieth, Justin Thomas, Bubba Watson, but they aren't superstars. Now, I do think that, yes, does Bubba Watson get more criticism for taking his family out to Waffle House than, Woods does for having, quite the promiscuous, social life. I don't know, And for that matter, Woods' temper on the golf course, it kind of harmed the culture of golf, the gentleman's sport. And yeah, his demands for privacy covered up that unflattering personal life. Now, perhaps it was just because Woods was so dominant, but, you look at the history of golf. Nicklaus had Palmer, Hogan had Snead, or Snead had Hogan. Somehow, Mickelson just wasn't enough of a rival. Phil Mickelson, I'm talking about. He wasn't enough of a rival to share Woods' spotlight and keep the sport popular once Tiger went away. So Woods' Masters victory will become one of the most memorable in history, no doubting it. It'll seal his legacy, absolutely. I mean, now he came back after 14 years to win the Masters. Woods is the GOAT. You'll get that. Fine. But ultimately, it'll cause the sport to take another dip in popularity if nobody comes in to challenge it. And Mickelson kind of did, but he didn't. Not a real, he was, I like old-time baseball. He was the Indians to the Yankees dynasty or the Brooklyn Dodgers. He didn't win much. In fact, go onto my Medium page, you'll see me, it's Mickelson handing the green jacket to Tiger Woods in 2005. Mickelson appears to be Woods' valet. And really, over the last generation in golf, that's been Phil Mickelson. So the best thing that can come of Woods' Masters victory is if he continues to win, but a new rival comes and shares his headlines. And 43 years old, Woods probably isn't going to dominate like he once did. I think that's kind of probably isn't. But that means that, maybe he could have a rival in the future. If there is a future, and this wasn't that sort of Jack Nicklaus type of Masters victory, a great swan song. Even if it is, it's a great moment. Joe Panucci at 12:30 on Tri-City Sports Now.